morning and welcome to our second installment of Live on Lakeland. I'm Kelsey Beckus.
And I'm Prez Kunke. In this broadcast, we'll provide the latest up-to-date info around Lakeland, including an interview with members of the swim team, an important message from DECA, teachers' pets, a review of the most current and popular types of entertainment, and an original skit by some members of Media Productions.
That sounds like a pretty exciting broadcast, Prez. But don't forget, there are a few other segments today. Today we will also feature another installment of Life Hacks, an interview with Keegan Mullen and his experiences on the Model UN, and an interesting story about 8 to 11-year-olds and how they relate to the struggle of Martin Luther King Jr.'s and Justin Knox in A Hard Knocks Life. But first, Kayla Terry has a couple of exclusive updates.
Good morning, T-Birds. Today is Friday, April 10th, and these are the morning announcements. Last night in sports, varsity soccer beat Medford 5-1. Today for lunch, we are having beef stroganoff, and the soup of the day is cheesy broccoli. NHS will be hosting a movie tonight at 7, The Maze Runner in the auditorium. Now on to Lost and Found. Now don't everybody come down and claim this at once. It's an amazing Green Bay Packers bag. And if one of your hands is cold, it's probably because you've lost this wonderful mitten. And I also have this gorgeous River Falls Letterman jacket. I'm sure someone is missing this. And finally, I found this Pikachu running around our studio. Well, that's all I have today. Now back to you.
Thank you, Kayla. Today we welcome several award-winning students to Studio 126. First of all, we have members of LUHS DECA who have qualified for state competition not once, not twice, but 3 times. They are Miss Barrett Guthrie, Miss Brina Trapp, and Mr. Frank Scandon.
Morning, girls. Before we start, I'd like to take some time to explain exactly what DECA is. DECA is an association of marketing students in which students compete in competitive role-play events and take tests. Students come from all around the state to the state competition and a few other countries for the international competition. All right, first question is, what types of challenges has DECA forced you to overcome?
DECA has really made me more confident in my public speaking and when I'm presenting in front of people. And because of that, it's pushed me to not only pursue leadership roles in DECA and NHS, but to be more comfortable when I'm speaking at Model UN conferences and the like.
I know DECA has helped me prepare for my future in college and after that. How has DECA helped you guys prepare?
Well, DECA sparked my interest in the business world, and because of all the things that I've learned throughout DECA here at Lakeland, I will be attending Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities next year.
What is the most important thing DECA has taught you?
I think the most important thing that DECA has taught me is how to present myself better in front of people and how to give myself a good business-like attitude when I'm entering into presentations.
All right, girls, congratulations and good luck in your future endeavors. Remember, I'm Frank Scandon, and you're not.
You know which segment I just love, Prez? I love teachers' pets. I think it's really neat to see teachers and their furry companions.
Well then, you're in luck, Kelsey, because Jake Lindheim, Evan Andrews, and Jarrett Radmer have another addition to Teachers' Pets, but this time they're starting off with something a little more scaly.
Hello everybody, and welcome back. On this segment of Teachers' Pets, we'll be interviewing another teacher here at LUHS, except this time this teacher teaches in the social studies wing. He also coaches girls basketball, and one of his favorite pastimes is fishing. That's right, it's Mr. Michelson.
We're here with Mr. Michelson. He's got 2 pretty interesting pets over there. Can you tell us their names?
Yeah, thank you for the interview. And the larger, fatter one here is named Robinson, and the skinnier one, more athletic fish is called Bezic.
All right. What do you usually feed them? What do they kind of live off of?
You know, worms, leeches, minnows, what fish usually eat.
Yeah. You manage to teach them any cool tricks or anything like that? Anything they're really good at?
Every day I get home from work around 9 o'clock at night. We swim laps in there, and they've gotten pretty good at swimming.
So how did you manage to get these fish here, Mr. Michelson?
Well, many people probably think I caught them and put them in here, but I pond raised them from day one.
Yep. Any interesting stories you have to tell about them before we wrap this one up?
I tried to release them back into the wild, and they just keep coming back. So they like the environment, and they like to explore in the tank.
All right, now we'll take it over to Mr. Michelson's second pet. We're here with Mr. Michelson's second pet. Can you tell us his name, Mr. Michelson?
Yep, this is Champ. He is a yellow Labrador Retriever.
How old is Champ?
He will be 4 next month.
What made you decide to get Champ, and where did you get him from?
Well, over my life, we've had multiple dogs, and growing up, I had a yellow lab beagle mix named Lucky. Had him until I was 9 years old. Then we had a black lab named Blackie. Had him until I was 22. And we also had a beagle, which was my 8th grade graduation present. His name was Buddy. We got Champ because we wanted another dog, and we just love labs. And he's just a lovable being.
Yep. A lot of people know you do a lot of fishing, Mr. Michelson. Does Champ like to go out with you?
Oh yeah, he loves the lake, he loves the boat, and he, as you just saw, he want to go fishing. Yeah, he's real interested right now, but we have a cabin about 10 miles from here, and in the summer, any chance we get, we take him fishing, we take him swimming, and he just lives for the water.
Yeah. Does he usually, keep you pretty occupied when you're not around school?
Definitely. He's full of piss and vinegar, and he's still a puppy, and he will just keep you going.
Yep. Do you have any special stories you want to share about Champ before we wrap this up?
If we don't tie him up outside, since he's still quite a puppy and all over the place, he will tend to run a little bit, and I think he learned those behaviors from my beagle, which would always try to make it down to the local bait shop, and a couple times Champ and the beagle Buddy were down there and tried to get into their minnow tanks.
All right, well, thank you for interviewing with us, Mr. Michelson, and this is Teacher's Pet signing off.
Champ.
Mr. Michelson's fish names were hilarious.
Yeah, and his dog was adorable. Up next, Adam Rexroad conducted an exclusive interview with swim team members Nate Kellner, Jake Garcia, and Evan Andrews.
Rolling. Hello and welcome. I'm Adam Rexroad, and today I'm joined by LUHS swim team members Jack Garcia, Nate Kellner, and Evan Andrews, who all qualified for the state competitions in the 100, 200, and 500 free, as well as the 400 and 200 freestyle relay. So let's start off with probably the most difficult question. Who among you is the best swimmer?
Nick Garcia, who actually couldn't be with us. He cut his hand open. He's at the hospital. But yeah, he swims the fastest and scores the most points. So I'm gonna have to say Nick's the best.
Jack's the only freshman here.
Evan can actually eat a whole pizza by himself.
Mm-hmm. And well, Nate's the only one on the state qualified relay team here that's got a girlfriend. So pretty good.
Now that that's settled, can you tell us a little bit about your season and how you came to qualify for state?
We took second in conference, which was pretty good. And then at sectionals, we qualified in the 200 by winning our sectionals, and in the 400 by making it in the top 16 out of the whole state.
And how did you guys do at state?
Well, Nick and I swam in 3 individual events in total. I swam the 500, Nick swam the 200 and the 100. I placed 9th in the 500. Nick placed 7th in the 200 and 6th in the 100.
Okay.
And we also had our 2 relays that we did. We did the 200 and 400 at state, and we did pretty good in those. I don't remember our places, but we wanted to see if we could get up on the board, and that didn't happen. So, we ended at state, so it's good.
Okay. What would you guys attribute your success to?
Lots of food, because after practice you're tired and everything. Lots of food,
Donuts, chips, soda.
Cookies, cake, ice cream. Probably our coaches, because they kept pushing us, even though, every day we didn't want to go to practice, but we still did, and they made it fun. And just the camaraderie that we all had together. We all messed around, and it made practice and even the meets a lot of fun.
All right, and what made these relay teams special to you guys?
The way we connected with each other. Evan, Nick, and I knew each other already. We had been to state before on a team, and then this year we brought in Jack as a freshman. So I would say just how we connected as a team was good. We were also fast, which I think that works.
That is pretty good in swimming.
Still one up to you, Evan.
Jack, do you really want to start this on camera?
Okay, all right, let's take it easy.
Yep.
Looking back on the whole swimming experience, what would you say the best part was?
Leaving Evan. I don't know, just the team, how we all connected and had fun together. So it's a good group of guys. That's probably what I'll miss the most is that. So.
All right, thank you guys, and thank you for tuning in to Live on Lakeland. Now back to Pres and Kelsey in the studio.
Oh wow, it sure seemed like the swim team had fun. So happy that they got to finish out their season at state.
Talking about all this swimming makes me miss the sunny days I had during my vacation over spring break. I wish I could have had just a few more days to enjoy it.
That sure sounds nice right about now. Now, Kelsey, you and Bree actually performed an original skit about worse things that could have happened over spring break. And I'm just really glad that my spring break didn't end up like that.
Well, coming to school is definitely one thing we shouldn't do over spring break. Well, there's also a lot of worse things we could be doing right now. Well, being attacked by killer piranhas would be a lot worse. Why don't they just use the rope to pull the small boat closer to the bigger boat? Because it's a horror movie, duh. Wait, what happened to you guys? What's in there? Let's go, we're leaving! Ooh, sparkly. Oh, look, more sparkles. Wait, isn't that... No. So what do you want to do now? Ice cream? McDonald's? Sure.
We have new hosts and a new line of reviews for my personal favorite segment, The Present.
Do you like building things out of squares without bringing out the Legos from your basement? Do you like to fight monsters without committing murder? Do you like to be creative in a multitude of ways? Then Minecraft is for you. Minecraft, a game about waking up on your own little island, punching trees and getting wood. By surviving the night and fighting evil creatures in the dark, learn about the wonderful square world you are now living in. You, a 2-meter tall man named Steve, must do all that with no goals or motivations other than your own mind telling you to chop down that tree, slaughter that pig, build a house on that hill. Although the game came out a few years ago, it is constantly evolving, with a humongous patch list that comes with every update. But wait, there's more. Don't have a computer that can run Microsoft Word? Fear not, Minecraft's on the consoles, your phone, and your local neighborhood toaster. Although the graphics look like it can run on your NES, the gameplay is complicated considering its simplistic design. Although it has brought over 60 million people together with 8-player co-op on the consoles and up to 62 people per player on the PC, this game is for all ages and being played by many, and now you know why. This has been Michael Stenz, and I give this LEGO Block Simulator 2015 8.5 square dirt blocks out of 10. Now over to Mike Carlo with a review on the new superhero movie by Marvel, Birdman.
Now it's time for John Carlo for Bella Rosillo's movie review.
Hello many people that are watching this podcast, this is John Carlo for Bella Rosillo, and today I'll be bringing you a review through the speed of sound through your eardrums of Birdman. Oscar winner of the 2014's Best Picture, and personally one of my favorite movies of last year. Please take note that this review is caffeinated, so periods, commas, and exclamation points are not allowed, so let's get started. Birdman is directed by some guy I can't even pronounce, so I'm just going to put him on the screen, and also stars Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, and Edward Norton, and personally they give one of the best performances of their life in this movie. Now that we've talked about who's involved with the movie, let's actually talk about the story now. With the name Birdman, you might think this is some weird superhero flick just like Mike said, but it really is not. Birdman is actually about Regan Thompson. He's actually a washed-up superhero, but now he wants to become relevant again, so he's going to try to put on a show on Broadway. Now, I know that might sound more boring than a William Shakespeare play, but seriously, the characters in this movie are so well done. The film is also very unique in its screenplay, as well as its commentaries on filmmaking and critics alike. Now, that's all I'm going to be talking about, because I really don't want to spoil this movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever watched, and I'm going to let you find out for yourself why it won Best Picture of 2014. Now, if I still haven't sold you on this movie, I've actually had people who would rather watch Michael Bay explosions on loop watch this movie, and they thoroughly enjoyed it, which is hilarious because one of the commentaries in the movie is making fun of people who'd rather watch gore on the screen every 5 minutes than actually watch a serious movie. It's one of the best films I've ever watched, and it deserves a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 Michael Keaton heads.
That concludes our program. Now on to music. Also to everyone in the class, yes, I am Mr. Rosillo's mate from across the pond in the UK. It's not him doing...
Hey everybody, welcome to our first installment of Miles' Metal Review with me, Miles, reviewing metal. Today I'm reviewing Slipknot's The Gray Chapter, their 5th album out of 5 albums. But what makes this album a great album to listen to is that they go back to their roots from Iowa and All Hope Is Gone, and also includes some new things that they've been working on while they were away from Slipknot, with Corey Taylor working with Stone Sour and all the other band members working with their other side bands. All those influences did come into Slipknot's The Gray Chapter, and they did make a really great sound. And that's all I have to say. I rate this album a 9.5 out of 10, and have a great day.
What a great choice of movies and games this time around, guys. You always suggest such interesting titles. Now Kayla, Emil, Leslie, and Emma are back again to bring you even more life hacks.
Welcome back to Life Hacks with Kayla
and Emma
and guest star Emil.
The real Filipino deal.
Today, I'm going to show you how to get to the soul of the problem.
And I'll show you how to get out of a chatty situation.
And I'll show you an awesome prank.
Are you tired of having really smelly shoes in gym class? Well, I have a solution for you. Just take an ordinary tea bag and a regular gym shoe and just put the tea bag in there, and then it'll soak up all the nasty smell.
I bought some string the other day and I made a bracelet. I made like a bunch of bracelets. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Have you ever been stuck in a chatty situation where the person keeps talking and talking and talking and talking? Well, here's how to get out of that situation. Make a diversion.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You knocked it on the ground. The statue fell. Guys, the statue fell on the ground and Mr. Yaki's gonna be mad about it. It was like, you guys should come over and see it. Check it out, it's broken. Hi.
Want to know an awesome prank? Here, I have a fake camera lens. Real ones are very expensive. We are going over by Mr. Yankee and drop this very expensive lens. Oh no, I'm going to drop this very expensive camera lens. My precious. My precious. Thanks for joining us today.
We hope to see you next time.
Until then, stay classy, Lakeland!
Thanks for those interesting and funny life hacks, guys. I'll never have to be stuck in an awkward conversation ever again. Now over to Kayla, who's interviewing Keegan Mullen for the first ever International Model UN competition.
Thanks, Prez. Good morning, Keegan, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
So first of all, what is Model UN?
Well, Model United Nations is a club at our school that travels to conferences where students reenact, well, not reenact, but act like the real United Nations. Each student is assigned a country to represent in a certain committee where they'll discuss issues like commercialization of drones, honeybee colony collapse disorder, and stuff like that, and try to pass a resolution just like the real United Nations would.
And as Prez said, this is the first international competition. How is it different from other competitions?
Well, being in Europe, it was a European style, which meant that in America, it is usually very structured, even from the first day. But in Europe, they have this thing called lobbying, where basically you just walk into the committee and everybody's just sitting around talking about the issues, and it's very interpersonal. You make deals and alliances and talk to people one-on-one.
And exactly where in Europe was this competition held, and who ran the competition?
It was the St. Andrews International Model United Nations, held in Dublin, Ireland.
And who is the driving force behind this club?
Well, although it wouldn't be possible without Mr. Keeler, who supports us, it is the students that do much of the work. It was even one of our students' ideas to go to Ireland in the first place, and we do everything from finding the hotels to booking the plane tickets.
Interesting. And how competitive is Model UN?
Model United Nations is a very competitive club. The conferences vary in competitiveness based upon where you're going, but the ones we go to, we try to find the most tough competition out there, and some schools have Model United Nations clubs with hundreds of people on them where they can only send a delegation of 10 or 20, so some schools actually have to cut, and it is very competitive because of that system.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Now back to Prez.
Thank you, Keegan. Congrats for your efforts in Dublin. I'm sure the competition was full of great minds. And speaking of great minds, the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. lives on today for students at MHLT who learned why he stood up for racial injustices. Frank, Jarrett, Evan, Jacob, Brandy, and Kelsey explored the event.
What would happen if you segregated a group of 8 to 11-year-olds? Our special group of teachers at Minocqua J1 School District found out. Each day, a group of students was selected to wear stars. These students represented the minorities and were stripped of their civil liberties for a day. A group of our students went over to Minocqua J1 to have a closer look at what went on.
Interesting project for, I think, most of the kids as well as us encore teachers or the FIAD teachers. Basically what happened was we definitely treated the kids differently that were stars. If they came in and said that we're a star today, if we were inside, we made them run extra laps. They had to sit in the back. And we were doing dancing one day, and I made all the dancers stay in the very back row, and they couldn't be up front to see very well. And so we would try to make it as real as it possibly could have been.
So you guys were all stars, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How did it feel when you were a star, to be treated differently?
I didn't really like it because I got separated from my friends and I had to sit at a different lunch table.
Everyone was having hot chocolate, and 2 kids came by, and I was with Catherine and some other people. 2 kids came by, and they threw their hot chocolate cups at us and told us to throw them away.
We couldn't use some of the comfy furniture or hang out with our friends at lunch or recess.
Sort of, you got a little bit more segregated than other people. And yeah, you couldn't use special things more than likely. You have to use a certain thing. And yeah.
So what did this teach you about just life in general, and how are you going to carry these feelings out throughout the rest of your school days?
I want to start telling people about my experience as a star so they can know how the black people felt when there was times of segregation.
Try to help with things that I can help with.
Kind of what she just said, sort of help other people that I wouldn't usually, that I didn't know.
But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day, all the Sneetches forgot about stars, and whether they had one or not upon theirs.
As spring begins, it is known as the season of a new start from a long winter. These kids at Minocqua J1 School District have also began a new start as they experienced what it's like to be on the other end of the rope. Hopefully, they will live out the lessons they learned from this experience and make the Minocqua J1 School District a better place for everyone.
That was an amazing opportunity for those kids and a great way for them to understand racial prejudices and injustices.
Yes, it was. Alrighty, folks, we know that times are tough, but it's nothing like a Hard Knocks life.
Yeah, man, so I shook him upside down and I took his lunch money. What a dork. Alright, man, I'll talk to you later. See you. Hey! Hey, nerd.
What are those books for, man? Huh? Huh? You wanna get in the locker, man? Stay in there.
It's a hard knocks life for us. It's a hard knocks life for us. Instead of A's, we get those F's. Instead of passing, we fail the class. It's a hard knocks life. Looking for my GED. I think my friend stole it. That's too bad for him. Got his forage. Bought some steaks last night. They were pretty good. For $1.99, I understood. Got this new sweater from the other day. I wore it for a minute, then I switched the other way. Didn't think I'd do it, but I wore it while I swear. It's pretty good, don't you say? Montana, where I'm at today. I said, it ain't happening that way. Called up my mama, I said I ain't okay. Can you come and pick me up today? She ain't gonna come and save my day. Looks like I'm walking and I'm on my way. Isn't this a beautiful day? Great day for the good old Knox name. It's a hard knocks life for us. It's a hard knocks life for us. Instead of A's, we get those F's. Instead of passing, we fail the class. It's a hard knocks life.
I'd rather that. I see your vision, mama. I went from lukewarm to hot. Then I put it down tight, real. Phony. Feel me?
Thanks, Justin. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in to Live on Lakeland. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Prez.
We will see you all next time. Signing off from Studio 126.